G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole, where in our first story today, OP deals with a very intrusive roommate, and it is not pretty. Now, if you love today's bloody good stories, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, smack that like button, and get ready for today's good content. Let's go. Would I be the arsehole for making my roommate pay to replace my panties? Earlier this year, one of my friends, 29 male, we'll call him Taylor, moved in with my boyfriend, 25 male, we'll call him Charlie, and me, 23 female. Taylor and I worked together and became really close friends. I introduced him to my boyfriend, and now the three of us are friends. However, I am closer to Taylor than my boyfriend is because Taylor and I have bonded over similar traumatic experiences. The other day, Charlie and I left for a little weekend trip. Taylor agreed to take care of our dog while we were away, which we were happy about. Charlie and I have a security camera in our bedroom. This camera is aimed at the bedroom door and the bathroom door. We have a bathroom attached to our room. Minutes after we left, we got a notification that there was motion in our room. We checked the cameras and saw Taylor just standing in our room. Over the next 30 minutes, he went in and out of our room about 7 times. It's important to note that up until this point, we have sincerely valued privacy. We never go in his room unless he states it's okay, and vice versa. So we were surprised to see him just walking in on his own. The 8th time he went into our room, we saw him go over to my dresser and dig through my panty drawer. He picked out a pair of panties, pulled down his boxes and pants, put my panties on, and then put his boxes and pants back on over it. A few minutes later, he returned wearing one of my tank tops when he noticed the camera. He slowly backed out of the room, but then he returned later and continued digging through my panty drawer. He returned multiple times later to dig through my panties. All of this is recorded and saved on video. Seeing how he invaded our privacy and wore my underwear made me feel sick and needs to be addressed. We don't want to make Taylor feel ashamed for cross-dressing, but what he did with my clothing was disgusting. I know as soon as we get back home, I'm going to throw away all of my underwear, and Charlie is going to install a deadbolt on our bedroom door. We don't feel comfortable confronting him about it until we return home and are able to deadbolt our door. Would I be the arsehole if I made him pay to replace all my underwear and pay for the hardware for our bedroom deadbolts? The only reason I need those things now is because he invaded my privacy. Edit for clarification, Taylor is better friends with me than he is with Charlie. Between the two guys, I'm obviously closer to my boyfriend. I do not prefer Taylor over my boyfriend, Charlie. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I feel like I might be the arsehole because he could be struggling with his gender identity, and I don't want to shame him for that. Making him pay to replace all my panties and pay for a deadbolt could be an overreaction. Now in the comments, not the arsehole. WTF. It's not that he wears women's clothes, it's that he invaded your room and wore yours. Yes, he should replace your clothes, then he needs a new place to live. Even if he likes cross-dressing, it's very unhygienic for both him and OP. It would have been easier for him to buy a fresh pair. Not the arsehole. Worth noting that for some people, it's not about the cross-dressing as much as it is about violating the boundaries of a person or persons. The fact that he seems to have seen the camera and was only temporarily put off suggests that this is at least partially about the specific act of wearing the clothes without their owner realizing it. And probably about OP specifically, because if it was just about the clothes, the realization that he might be caught on camera would be a stronger deterrent. Only somebody set on wearing specific underwear, and probably the added titillation of the risk of getting caught, would think doing this in front of a security camera is less risky than just making a discreet online purchase. Not the arsehole. Cross-dressing is one thing, raiding your panty drawer and invading your privacy is another. When you talk to him, make sure to lead with that you support people of that lifestyle, and if that's what he was doing, then he needs to buy his own clothes for it. I'd make him pay for the panties, deadbolt, and tell him that he's out when the lease is up. I wouldn't stand for that level of disrespect. It has nothing to do with his identity, only the invasion. Not the arsehole. But to be honest, I'm a little concerned here. Are you sure it's just cross-dressing and not something sexual for him? And OP replies, I'm not completely clear on the motivation here. I'm still out of town. Charlie and I don't feel comfortable confronting him until we're back home and able to install a lock on our door. I know that for people who suffered the same trauma as Taylor and I, it is extremely common to have an identity crisis. That is the only reason I think it is non-sexual towards me. Either way, I won't have any solid answers about it until I get home. Once we get home, then we will decide whether or not we want to spend all of our savings to move out and get a new place without Taylor. And further down, OP provides an update and says, first of all, thank you for all of the awards and responses. I didn't expect my post to blow up like it did. Secondly, this is just a brief update. Things are still happening, and I've been home for less than 24 hours. Now on to the quick update. Things are still unfolding. My boyfriend and I returned home last night. All the clothes that my roommate potentially touched have been thrown away and replaced. My boyfriend Charlie confronted our roommate Taylor. It didn't turn violent, which I'm grateful for. We are in contact with multiple people about our next steps, but for now, my pets and I are safe. I will post another update in the future as things play out. I really appreciate all the advice and support. These past few days have been pretty tough and emotionally draining. I'm pretty devastated that a person that I love like a brother could betray my trust like this. Thank you, Reddit. And now, on to the update. Thank you for all of the advice and support. You guys really helped me make an informed decision. I left out some details intentionally because thinking about it and making it public was just too disturbing, and I was in denial. Taylor went in my nightstand to look at and handle my adult toys, and he dug through my hamper to presumably look for used underwear. Now on to the update. Taylor denied everything. Despite the fact that we had it all on video, he tried to make up different reasons why he was in there, tried to downplay it, said he only came in to look around, and then said that he doesn't remember ever entering our room. We told him he could either move out, go to therapy, or we could move out and he would have to find new roommates. He basically told us no. He said we had no authority to kick him out, and that blackmailing him with the videos was illegal. Unfortunately, he was on our lease, so there wasn't much we could do without taking legal action. So we got to work. We started looking for a new place to live, started looking for a lawyer, filed a police report, and made plans to file for a restraining order. But every single day, I was constantly anxious at work and fearful in my own home, because it was clear that he had absolutely no remorse. After about a week with no sleep and constant fear, I finally spoke to my boss about the situation. My concerns were taken seriously, and they immediately began taking steps to help me. I showed them the videos, and they agreed that his actions were completely unacceptable, and due to the nature of our work, he is considered a liability and a danger to other employees. They made sure that I was in a safe place before they suspended him while they investigated him. During his suspension, I met with my bosses where they continued to support me and ensure my safety. They also made plans to terminate him, as he also had multiple negative performance reports. So this whole deal was the nail in the coffin. However, Taylor quit before they had the chance to fire him. The day after he quit, he got all of his crap out of the apartment and signed documents removing himself from the lease. He has not attempted to contact me since. This whole situation has been extremely emotionally draining. It has caused a lot of painful memories and emotions to resurface. Looking back on our friendship now, I can recall multiple red flags in which he crossed clear personal boundaries I set. I can't believe he was ever someone I trusted and loved like a brother. But for now, he is out of our lives and I am relieved. I'm still living with my parents, but I plan on moving back as soon as the apartment locks get changed. That's all I've got for now. Now in the comments, some people are unbelievable. How he denied everything when you had it on video? It would be hilarious if it wasn't so disturbing. So sorry you had to go through this, OP. Sending you lots of love. Hope you and your boyfriend can move back into your home soon. I like how he said that she was blackmailing him and that was illegal. It's not blackmail, it's evidence. It would have been blackmail had OP threatened Taylor, say for embarrassing photos. Making reference to legal action like eviction, etc. isn't blackmail. I remember reading the original post and being so concerned for your safety, the safety of your boyfriend, and the safety of your animals. You handled a difficult situation like a boss. Hoping you can put it all past you, and I cannot fathom going through that. OP replies, "It has been difficult coming to terms with everything, but I have no regrets for how I handled things. For once in his life, Taylor actually experienced consequences for his actions. Good on you. You were super brave. Men like that need to be shown what's up. Let's hope he thinks twice about violating a woman again. And I hope you get some well-deserved rest." Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for offering to pay a portion of my daughter's rent?" My daughter, who is 20, is planning to move out. I am proud of her, but the problem is that she doesn't make a lot of money and is planning to move in with her best friend. They are planning to move into a studio apartment. It is in an area with higher crime, the building is also a bit older, and it's also really far from her work, and she also made a comment about her friend also having a bit of a commute too. I talked to her about it and offered her some money if she wanted to get a better apartment. I can afford it, and I think both of them will prefer not having to share spaces and having rooms on their own. I am offering this money with no strings attached. I tried to convey that it's just a suggestion and that I would not be mad if she did turn it down. She, however, was upset by my offer. I think for some reason it hurt her. I think my wife also wants me to let her be and make her own choices. I understand that, but I feel she shouldn't have to suffer just for suffering's sake. She has been avoiding this issue, which is strange, because she's always been a person who is willing to speak her mind. I think I'm an asshole here because I may have inadvertently implied that she was not adult enough to make her own way in life. That is not what I meant to do at all. She is in college, she is working a job, and she is making enough to get an apartment. I did the same thing years ago, and I still remember how tough it got at some points. I just want to help her so that she doesn't have to do it on her own, like I had to. Now in the comments, no assholes here. You want her to be safe, and that's understandable, obviously. However, I'm sure that she was upset because offering assistance like that kind of makes it seem like you don't think she can survive on her own. I would just tell her the offer stands and let her make her own decision. And OP replies, "Honestly, I would get it if she was a bit angry about it. Instead, she's quiet like she's hiding something, which is really strange as she's someone who has very firm opinions and is not afraid of disagreeing with me or anyone else. I fear that I may have really hurt her for her not to get angry or state her opinion. She just brushed it off. She looked sad and has been avoiding the topic ever since. I think she hoped that you would be proud of her for her choice in where and how to live, and instead, you implicitly criticized her choices. So she is hurt instead of angry. She's quiet because now she's questioning or is embarrassed about her own choices, instead of being mad at you for your response. This, and also, maybe she's a bit conflicted. She probably felt really proud for paying for the apartment on her own. Now that she has this option, she's struggling with being independent, paying on her own with all of the problems that come with it, versus letting you pay for a bit, but not feeling as it is her achievement. Exactly. She was all, look at how grown up and responsible I am. I chose a place I can afford, even though it means making all these sacrifices, lack of privacy, long commute, less safety, etc. Because I am a mature adult who puts living within her means first. Aren't you proud? And poor well-meaning dad was like, oh sweet summer child, you chose a place that has so many things wrong with it. You should have just asked me for help. Let me make it better for you. No assholes here. You have good intentions, but sounds like she's trying to pave her own way. Just tell her that you are proud of her and are happy to see her being independent, but that she can come to you if she needs anything. Info. If she already has friends that live in that area, saying that it's in an area with higher crime might be extremely offensive to her, as if you were insinuating that her friends are criminals. Not that you are, but she might take it that way. Also, have you considered that maybe her best friend is her girlfriend? Maybe I'm projecting, but I know plenty of girls who told their dad they were moving in with their best friends who were actually their girlfriends. I kind of get that energy off of your reply where you said, instead, she's quiet like she's hiding something. And OP replies to that, I don't think she has friends living in that area. If she had mentioned a few friends, I think I would be a bit less worried. And to your second point, I don't know. It's not something I've considered. I don't know. I was thinking this too, especially since you mentioned it's a studio apartment. If that's the case, it might have put her in a hard place to refuse without giving an explicit detail that she isn't ready to share. Either way, not the asshole for the offer. And now on to the update. I read almost all the comments there, and it really drove home why my daughter may have felt offended by my offer to help pay her rent. I think I've been going off on my own experiences and how rough they were. I had a particularly rough time in my 20s, and if someone had offered me money, I would have probably accepted it and cried about it. But she doesn't face the same issues, and I realized I was offering help based on what I needed back then and not what she needs right now. I talked to her about it. I told her that I was incredibly proud of her being independent and moving. I was sure that she was choosing the best decision she could with the money she had. I also told her that I would be budgeting an amount every month, and if she wanted, she could have it no questions asked. Something that a commenter suggested. She turned down the money, but I think she understood where I was coming from and that I didn't ever mean to imply she couldn't cut it in the real world. She's moving to the same place. I also had some commenter ask if my daughter and her friend were in a relationship. I don't know. I did some reading on this and it seems the best thing you can do is not pry and generally just be supportive. I don't know how to talk about it as I don't generally talk about stuff, and I don't know how to do it in a subtle manner. I talked to my wife about it, and she said she had the same suspicions, and she's not sure about it either, but she said that she wouldn't be surprised if they were together. Honestly, I think some part of me would be bothered by it, but at the same time, I am reading about it online and with books. I have realized that I have many dead wrong preconceptions to work through and get over. I need to work on this and get better. Now in the comments, oh yeah, if they are gay, that adds an extra layer. I don't know if that person spelled this out for you, but early financial independence is a big deal in the LGBTQ community because it means your parents can't pull the rug out when you come out. Even when people aren't sure how mom and dad will react. They have seen and heard about enough friends on the street that they play it safe. My own sister made sure that she had her own house, her own car, and her own health insurance before she even told me. Our parents and her are like, cool, but like, they didn't have any options, any leverage. It was, you accept this or we don't talk anymore, and I do it anyway. And to be honest, that's the way to do it when you are not sure. It beats homelessness and prostitution. I realize you're not looking at it that way, but for a lot of people, that extra money is a bargaining chip. And even if it isn't, people don't always act rationally when caught off guard. What if it wasn't strangers on the internet who pointed this out while you sat comfortably at home? What if you found out in a more heat-of-the-moment way? Can you honestly say one of your first thoughts wouldn't have been, wait, I'm paying for her to live with her girlfriend? You said that you've had to do some research to understand and come to grips with just the possibility. You don't have time for all of that when you catch them holding hands or making out, and that would be a single moment that would immediately cost them financial stability. They'd have to move and break the lease on a place they couldn't afford in the first place, all while dealing with the emotional turmoil of irate parents. It is a terrifying thought. And someone else says, it sounds like you've really learned from this experience, and that is great. Just remember that your daughter is the exact same person she is now as she was on the day she was born. Her sexual orientation isn't something that she can control. So if you love your girl, and it sounds like you do, you will love all of her, including the things that she cannot and shouldn't have to change. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.